What's going on, people? This is Shad Harris, and this is
Elle Harris.
And this is another edition, the first edition in quite a while of Keepin It Lite. How you doing?
I'm here.
You're here? You making it?
I'm making it. How are you?
Yeah, just gotta keep on holding on.
Keep on keeping on.
Yeah, I know. So, it's been a while since we put out an episode. When was the last time you put out one? Was it last year?
No, I think we've done at least one.
1 or 2 this year?
Yeah.
But it's May, so it's been about 5 months.
Yeah.
And we've had a lot of life changes. One of the major life changes is we're pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So corny.
yeah, so that's been going on.
That's been going on?
That's the major thing that's been going on.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just kind of figuring this whole thing out.
Yeah.
It's a lot to figure out.
It's a whole lot to figure out.
Yeah. So life has kind of changed since the last time we've been up here. So,
So how did we get here?
how do we get here? I mean, I think you know how we got here.
It's so whack.
So we thought it'd be fun to kind of talk about this whole process.
Did you think it was going to be fun?
I thought it was.
Oh, okay.
My whole assumption of this whole process was completely different.
What did you think it was going to be?
We're going to talk about that.
Oh, okay.
We're going to talk about that. So, yeah, so how you been doing?
Honestly,
Yeah.
I've been exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
Very nauseous. A vampire. Well, not really a vampire. Like, I just can't be around light for a long period of time.
Might be a vampire.
Go to sleep at about 9 o'clock each night. And, yeah. That's pretty much been the circle of my life
Okay.
right now. And I'm just like, this is not what I expected.
Yeah.
Been lied to a lot about this process, and people make it look very pretty and cute and
Hasn't been cute at all.
joyful. No, not at all.
Yeah, not at
It's been
all.
a lot of tears and a lot of tears,
Okay.
a lot of frustrations.
So how was... Let's talk about when we found out.
Mm-hmm.
Or that day and then a couple of days after that. So we found out day we actually went out to brunch with my mom. I took my mom out for brunch. A random just get out of the house, kind of just chill. So Elle was saying like, I don't think my period came. I'm like, okay, well.
I didn't say I don't think my period
Oh,
came.
it said my period. It said her period.
I know it didn't come.
It didn't come. So I was like,
And my period's always on time, like Jesus. But not even like when you may not come when you wanna. Oh yeah, sometimes. But it's like she always on time.
yeah.
Always on time.
So, yeah, it was just, in my head, I wasn't thinking anything of it. Like, could this be, or could it not be? I didn't want to get my hopes up. So we went out with my mom. My mom was like, is everything good?
Yeah, because she asked you the day before if you had
no,
something.
she said, is there something you want to tell me? I was like,
Yeah.
nah.
And that was the day before.
Yeah.
And that's because she's like, why do you randomly want to take me out to brunch?
Because I'm trying to be a good son. Yeah. So then right after brunch, we went and got a test. I think we had
No, that's not how that went. So right after brunch, you were getting ready to go to do something at work.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to go to the Dollar Tree. And he was like, babe, I gotta go.
Yeah.
He's like, I gotta be there. I was like, Rashad, take me to the goddamn Dollar Tree.
Yeah.
I was so mad.
Yeah.
I was like, take me to Dollar Tree. I need to know if I'm pregnant.
Oh yeah, because I was still just blowing it off like, all right,
Yeah.
her period probably gonna come as soon as we get back to the house, something like that.
Yeah. So then we went to Dollar Tree and they didn't have any tests. I guess
Everybody been knocked up.
Yeah. And then we ended up having to go to Walgreens. And then I felt so uncomfortable buying the test. And I know that's probably really weird, but I felt like it was very important for me to like show my hand to show that I was married, like, and I wasn't just like some girl with this guy.
I wonder if that's the same thing as like when guys buy condoms for the first time. It's like, it's kind of like uncomfortable. It
was very uncomfortable for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so definitely went and bought the test. And I'm actually happy that Dollar Tree didn't have a test, because I probably, if we got that test and it was positive, I probably would have doubted it because it was from Dollar Tree. So I think that was just all God, just kind of, you know, working it out. So then I took the test, and, you know, those 2 to 3 minutes are the longest 2 to 3 minutes of your life, even though it went by super fast, because Rashad's like, oh, let's go look. And I'm like, wait a second. Wait.
I thought it'd been 10 minutes and only been like 45 seconds.
No, it was done. It was done. But you were just like so eager to go look, and I was like, not ready. This is like, let me ease into this moment and prepare myself for this life-changing moment. And
when I came into the bathroom, it says, hey, you're knocked up.
Yeah.
You're knocked up.
That's exactly what it said.
And then I had this nervous smile on my face.
And he was like, there it is. He was like, yeah. And then he's like, I gotta go.
I did have to go still.
Just like a black man. I'm joking. I'm joking. That's not funny.
That's not funny, but it is funny.
That's not funny at all.
Yeah.
But
that was pretty witty.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
but he definitely left me.
Yeah. Left you to fend with your own thoughts.
He did. And I had to go be around a friend, and I'm like, I just found out my life is going to change, and I can't tell anyone. And how am I supposed to go to her house and live a normal life at her house?
Who was this?
I went to Tasha's house.
Oh, okay.
Because she had cooked for me. Well, she was getting ready to cook. And like when I got there, you know, I always drink kombucha. And like, you can't drink that because it has like a small percentage alcohol or whatever. And so, yeah, I was like, she's like, oh, I got this drink. I was like, oh, I'll just drink water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The start of your days of not drinking.
Yeah, so that was just, but the crazy part is maybe a couple of weeks before that I had stopped drinking, because we were actually getting ready to go to Miami.
Yeah.
And that was the other thing. Like we had
canceled. We had 2 trips.
Yeah, we had 2 trips planned. We planned to go to Miami in a couple of weeks before we found out, and I had like my body sculpting procedure ready so I could be
snatched.
I could be snatched in Miami, looking for my bathing suits and everything, all gone down the drain. And yeah, so life changed drastically in a moment. And I had my COVID vaccine schedule.
Oh yeah.
Everything. And then.
So how was it that first week or 2 where you couldn't tell nobody? For me, it was a struggle. Like I wanted to be like,
you can't hold water.
But I held it. But I wanted to be
barely.
But I wanted to be like, oh.
And I still feel like you really didn't hold it.
I don't know.
You told some people.
But I really wanted to be like, tell everybody that, you know, hey, we're finally pregnant.
Because the very next day, Angie, which is our massage therapist, she sent me a text message and was like, time to schedule your massage or whatever. And she doesn't normally like call to tell me to schedule. Generally when she calls to tell me to schedule, it's because my body needs it. And she's just very in tune with stuff like that. So I was like, well, actually, Angie, I can't go right now because I'm knocked up. And then she was like, don't tell anyone. That was the first thing. She's like, it's still early. Don't tell anyone. Like, you know, make sure you keep things a secret. Crazy part is the only person that she did say tell was to tell Rashad's mom. And she actually cared more about Rashad than she did about Elle. Because she was like, Rashad's having a baby. Clearly, Rashad's not caring for any of this. But she was so happy. She's like, Rashad's having a baby. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. You're going to have a boy and all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Right? So, Yeah, so those first 2 weeks were interesting. They were very interesting. I actually told maybe 2 or 3 people in that time frame.
Yeah.
Cause we had some crazy stuff happen. Like, listen, when you are an entrepreneur and you are not in a group insurance, you learn a lot. And
insurance is trash.
We learned our insurance was not going to cover anything, even though Rashad pays almost $400 a month for our insurance now, and they're like, oh, for an additional $500 a month, you can pay for this, but you got to pay the first $10,000 and do all of this. So, you know, I reached out to some people that I know who had similar situations, and I'm just like, what the freak are we supposed to do?
Yeah.
And just like having the comfort, you know, from my friend who, you know, had experienced that, and just kind of, you just like, it was something that I needed. And when you have friends like that, they always show up. Like, I literally talked to her, and then a few minutes later, she's like, boom, cash at me, go get your prenatal vitamins. Like, you know, that I just have really good friends like that. So I think I needed that in that moment, because at the end of the day, what a lot of people don't understand, and I say this and people just don't hear me, I am very introvert. Super introverted. So there are a lot of things that I do not want exposed to the world, or that I want to share with people, because I don't like people like in my space in certain, especially intimate times. So yeah, it was a lot. And then trying to embrace that, you know, moment, and then probably even understanding like, when was it okay to tell people, and you know, all of that type of stuff. So that's how I felt.
Okay. So I know with me, I had like an uneasy feeling. Like, I was happy, but I didn't want to get too happy. Just because I didn't know if, like, not to speak it, but, you know, I thought like miscarriage or just something crazy. Like, Elle sometimes clumsy. She might have like tripped or something like that. I'm
not sometimes clumsy.
Yeah.
And actually, yesterday was the anniversary of the day that I almost died. So, shout out to God for keeping me alive.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It was just a whole bunch of thoughts that was going on in my head. Like, all right, now it's like time to be super, like, protective and guarded over everything that Elle does. But also, like, I don't want to set myself up to be, you know, set myself up for failure, to be like, you know, tell people. Even up to the day we actually released our video, I was like still kind of nervous about that. Like I don't want to tell people and then it not happen, and then just feel like crazy. So yeah. So I think the first people I told was like my friends, Sean, GA, and Joe. We was in the group chat, so they were super excited for me. They like was calling me and everything, so that felt good. So yeah, that felt good. And I think the craziest thing, not the craziest thing, the happiest I felt after, you know, knowing that we was pregnant, was actually calling my mom and just hearing her like,
yeah, she was the greatest.
Yeah, just hearing her like, it was like a weird like cry, but it was also like a emotional like breakthrough sound. Like, it was just a lot. And just to hear her go through that like over the phone was like pleasing emotionally to me. So
yeah, it definitely was. I think because I'm happy that we told her when we told her. And you could just, it's different. Like when you have, like my mom has 5 grandchildren already. So even though I'm her first daughter to have a child, like, you know, she still has, my brother has kids and my stepsister has kids. So, but we've had that second generation. So it's interesting, like, because this is his mom's first grandchild, you know, and just like her joy, it was just like on another level. It was definitely just, it was amazing to experience. Yeah.
And even talking to my dad, like, even though my dad has another grandchild already, it was just, I don't know, it was just a different feeling that came over me, just kind of seeing my parents like joyous. So yeah, it was interesting.
And probably my sister, like So the relationship that I have with my sister-in-law and the relationship that Rashad has with her is different. So I think when I talked to her, you know, it was joy, but she was also making sure I was good, I was in a good place. So then I think like one night she and I were on the phone and Rashad came in the room and she was like, "We got one in, dude."
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my God."
Yeah, it was crazy. So yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely interesting. But I think I definitely had those same feelings as you. I think what helped me through some of those moments, like understanding that you ask God for something, right? Because let me tell you what's even crazier. So 2 weeks before I found out I was pregnant, one of my friends, she don't even have social media, shout out to Danielle, but she called me and Brittany one morning and we were, I was in the gym and she was like, okay, I was up talking to God this morning and he told me whatever you ask for, he's gonna give it to you. And she was like, so tell me what you want because the door of heaven is open. Mm-hmm. So we were on the phone and I was like, I want a child. And, you know, I'm saying it, but I'm thinking like, you know, this will come like later in the year. And so, you know, we have this prayer and she's praying for this. And then 2 weeks later, right? So it was just crazy that, you know, to have that moment. So then when the same feelings that you have, just like of thinking, you know, things could happen. I'm older, you know, and though my family has no history of like, you know, miscarriage or like, I come from a very fertile family. Breeders. I mean, yeah. My mom has 10 brothers and sisters. So we are a fertile family. We've never had problems with, you know, yeah. So it was just like, yeah, so all of that. So even though, you know, I've never seen that, but it's still that fear because when you want something and it's like, whoa, it's here, you start thinking about all the things that could take it away. And then it's like, so do I believe the promise? Do I believe that God would give me something and then take it away? Mm-hmm. And I thought about just like some things that I've experienced. You know, I've talked about having an abortion before. When I was young, 17 years ago. Mm-hmm. And so just thinking like, oh, am I going to be punished for the things I did back then? And it was a lot. Like I had to go through a lot of work and just having friends who are also spiritually connected and helping me walk through that journey because you do think like, am I worthy of this gift? Mm-hmm. You know, have I done enough? Have I done something wrong that will take it away? And you know, you got to walk through that. And that was a lot. It was a lot to embrace. And it was a lot to think about. So I think for me, I had those same feelings that you did and just trying to go through that and not be so like nervous or, you know, put those fears on you and, you know, trying to deal with it. So it's a lot, but you have to move and say, all right, God is going to... God is able to do just what he said he's going to do. Yeah,
and I think to piggyback off that, I actually had some of those same fears. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily fears, but I had those same thoughts like, we've been married for 8 years and we didn't have like a pregnancy scare or anything. Mm-mm. And like even in previous relationships, sometimes they weren't scared then. So it gets to like, and then you have like older guys, like last summer, one of my dad's cousins, like said like, hey, y'all ain't had no kids yet. You shooting blanks? And then I felt like I got defensive, like, nah, I'm cool. But then that kind of creeps in your head, like, yo, am I good? Because, like I said, we've been married for a while, haven't had no problem. We haven't had no situations. And so...
And I've never been on birth control since we've been together.
Right. So it just kind of gets you to thinking, like, maybe I'm the problem. If there's a problem, maybe I'm the problem. And so... I don't know, it just starts to creep in your head, like, and then you start to have, like, doubts, like, will I ever have kids?
Yeah, because we had that conversation last year, and I asked you, and I was like, you know, if we don't have children, is that a deal breaker for you?
Yeah.
You know, because one thing that I told Rashad I did not want to do is I wasn't going to do any IVF. I wasn't going to do any going back and get all this testing and prodding and all this stuff. If it was going to happen, it was going to happen naturally, or God just say it's not going to happen and we'll adopt a child, and I'm fine with that too. But I did not want to go through that process. I know me emotionally, I couldn't handle that.
Right.
So I had to make sure, like, you know, I get it. You know, if this is something that's going to be a deal breaker for you, I don't want to disrespect, you know, I just didn't want to disrespect that. I want you to have that, because I didn't want children until I was with Rashad. So before then, I had no intention of having children. I love children. I absolutely love children, but I was going to be okay if I didn't. Okay. And so, you know, then when you get with someone that you love and you see like what you can build together, and, you know, you imagine, you know, what a family looks like and all this stuff. So yeah, it was just kind of, yeah, those, but yeah, that's real. And that's, we had that conversation last year, and I asked you that. And I think that also you have to remember what your prayers are. And I know for me, something that I always pray, and I, you know, kept telling our family, because Rashad dad asked me every year for like 5 years, and then my sister-in-law made him stop. Oh, yeah. Like, when you gonna give me a baby? Like, when is this gonna happen? Like, what are you doing, Elle? And so I think that, you know, something that I always said was, can I finish school? Can I graduate? Like, I wanted, because I knew for me, the stress that I was going through school, there was no way in what I've been experiencing now, there's no way in the world I could have been doing this while also pregnant. There's no way in the world. And so I wanted to finish school first, and I swear God heard me, because that's literally a month later after I finished school. Yeah,
and I think one of my issues was just being able to properly provide for a child, and, you know, everything that it kind of entails. And I feel like, actually, starting off last year, but, you know, last year was, you know, the panoramic. But, like...
The what?
The panoramic. But this year I felt like I was able to properly provide for a child and do it in the way that I wanted to. Not just have to get a job, but, you know, really kind of stay on the path of what I'm doing and be able to kind of really provide. So it seems like as soon as both of those things kind of like matched up at the same time, it's like, now it's like go time.
That's interesting. You felt, that's what you felt. I felt, especially after the insurance thing, I was like, well, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave the W agency alone and go ahead and get a job, because I need some benefits, and this not gonna cut it. Like, and I think for me, just, you know, the way I grew up, even though, you know, that we didn't go without a meal, but I didn't grow up like financially rich or anything. Like, we didn't have a lot, so I never wanted to bring a child in the world where we lack for anything. So those are like all the fears that came up, you know, for me. And it's just like, what are you gonna do, Elle? I've learned the biggest thing that I could do at this point is lose control, because I have none. You know, I have absolutely no control of this process. And that is, I have no control over my body. I have no control over anything. And that is so weird, because I'm the most OCD person I know, and I love having control, because that keeps my anxiety down. And at this point, I have none. I don't know what the next hour will bring for me.
And on the flip side, I feel like I have the most calm control of my life right now. Not necessarily how you know, how you're doing, but I feel like everything else, I've kind of like have a good balance of control. Like, it's like shockingly calm, like right now. So it's just kind of weird that, like, normally I feel like I would be like all over the place on the inside, like, what we gotta do, and then just like relax and just do the things that you gotta do. And
that's good. I think that somebody has to have the balance. Somebody has to have the balance, because sis,
it ain't you.
It ain't me. Hormones be on 1,000. I want to cuss out everybody. I start cussing again, y'all. I'm trying, but
I haven't heard you cuss.
I just cussed in the thing.
Oh, man.
And Yeah, I mean, it's not bad, but you know, just sometimes when I'm enraged, it kind of come out, and you know, I remember one day I was sick, and Rashad, I was talking to one of Rashad's family members, and it was like my doctor prescribed me to get medication or whatever. And so it's like, well, do you think he should be taking that? And I was like, well, my body was fine. And so Rashad's DNA got with mine. And now I ain't been the same. Like, I was pissed. So, yeah, it's a whole lot of that. But I think that this process is a lot. Like you said, with releasing that video, that was a whole situation for me.
Yeah, I think we'll talk about that. We're going to do another video on that. I feel like periodically, we're going to try to do these a little bit more frequently than we have been, especially since we had this whole journey. And I kind of want something to show our daughter when, you know, she's able to comprehend of, you know, the stuff that we kind of had to go through to bring her to life. So I feel like we're going to do videos about this whole journey and still do videos on other things.
It's not going to be like those type of videos.
Yeah.
Because I'm definitely not going to be a mommy blogger.
Yeah.
No offense. That's just not my lane.
And I'm not going to be like the father who vlogs his whole life. Once our child gets here, you probably never see her. You'll never see it. No,
I've already told do not post any pictures of my child.
Yeah.
My child's gonna have a secret life, just like I had.
Right.
No Facebook, Instagram pages.
None of that. So, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, so that's pretty much all we got. So the next episode, I feel like we should talk. The next episode where we talk about baby stuff, I feel like we should talk about how you've been coping with, you know, morning sickness and all that good stuff.
It's not morning sickness.
Evening sickness.
Yes.
Evening sickness. And yeah, so that is where we're at. Yeah. So once again, I'm Shad.
And I'm Elle.
And you guys stay safe, stay roaming free, but keep creating, keep shooting. Actually, I was keep shooting. That's how we got here. So don't worry about it. You'll get it later. All right. And you guys have a great one.